So, my mom told me recently that I should stop making these videos because I've started my basketball coaching business, and I'm coaching little kids, I'm coaching youth kids and shit like that, and she reckons that it'll be bad for business because some the things that I talk about on here are really, I don't know, they're not dark or bad or anything, but they're just very, they're very interpersonal and vulnerable topics and subjects, and they're very in-depth, and they're very much adult, topics. And if kids were to come across it, her opinion is that it would be bad for business and that. And I can see where she's coming from. And my mom is my biggest supporter. My mom is my best friend. She's the first person to be like, I know you can do this, blah, 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 blah. And it's a difficult concept to process, but I'm also thankful for the pushback, especially from, someone I hold so dear and someone that I love so much and someone who supports me so much, because it provides me with the opportunity to back myself, and I haven't really said this to her. It doesn't really matter what I say to her, but my belief is that, I don't care. If anything, I want kids to, I guess younger kids, teenagers, to understand that there's so much more to life than just what's easy. I think back in, my mum's 50, back in her day and age, I think parents were too hard on their kids. And I think nowadays, because of that, parents have done a flip. They've sort of gone okay, my parents were really way too hard on me, so I'm gonna be extra completely cautious with my kids, so that they're not, so they don't end up like me. But they've gone too much the other way. And I think, even if kids that I coach come across it, or even if it does affect my business, I think the message and who I want to be and what I want to teach people, or kids, I guess, is that life's hard, man. And if you fucking sugarcoat that from kids from an early age, then they're not going to be prepared for it when it gets hard. And if you give them everything, if you pay for all their uni courses and you don't make them pay rent and you cook them food till they're fucking 25, then they're not going to be equipped to face the world, and they're not going to be equipped to pursue a path that they created by themselves. And believe me, I want my basketball business to work more than anything. I don't want to be in a 9-to-5. I enjoy my job, but I want to take control of my life. I want to have my own systems in place. And I think it's been difficult to, I haven't made a video in a while. It's because it's been difficult to process what my mum has said, and I've sort of gone well, maybe I shouldn't, sort of second guessing myself a little bit, I guess, and second guessing the repercussions of what could and couldn't happen. And I think I've just come to terms recently that the pros and very much outweigh the cons, and what I want to achieve and the message that I want to deliver is ironclad, and I want to back myself in it, and I want to stand by my conviction. And I think that's so important, especially going into my 20s, being in my 20s, and I think everyone in their 20s, you need to have conviction with what you're doing. You need to ignore the self-doubt, and not ignore it, but you need to ignore the self-doubt, and you need to ignore the outside opinions and the outside voice. They can be very helpful, but I think the only opinion that matters is yours. And it makes it so difficult when your biggest supporters and the people that are closest to you are the ones telling you, no, don't do this, it could be bad, it could be this, it could be that. It's difficult. It's fucking really hard to be able to, you don't want to disappoint them, I guess, in a way. You feel like you might disappoint them, and you don't want to make them feel like their opinion isn't heard. But at the same time, if it doesn't align with how I feel and my conviction, then I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to listen to it. And that is the key to just pursuing what you want and building the life that you want without the opinion of someone that's not in your life and someone that has no idea what you want. Because at the end of the day, your relationship with you and the conversations that you have with yourself are the ground that you stand on for the life that you want to build. And if you can't stand by, or if you don't trust that ground, then you're going to be building something that, you don't want. And I see so many people, like successful people, like things like lawyers and doctors and that, how many people are in high paying careers and like really, I guess, admirable careers because of what their parents said that they should do, or what outside noise said that they should do, or what social media said that they should do, or what a salary said that they should do. Do you. Do what you find interesting. Do what you find fun. Deliver the message that you want to deliver without hesitation, without censorship. The world needs so much more genuineness, especially with like the advancements of AI and things like that. And like Playboi Carti released an album recently, and personally, it's just not my kind of music. I can see it's an acquired taste, but his most popular song with The Weeknd, there was like AI music, and that terrified me, because I think the essence of music is how the vulnerability in it, and the complexity and the artistic and creative nature of music is what makes it, it's why it's such a staple in the world. Everyone listens to music. When you introduce AI into it, and when you can make a song without doing anything, you just be like, oh, I want it to sound like this, and it makes it really, really takes away from the beauty of it. And whilst AI is a very incredible advancement for humanity, and whilst it's scary, it's also, if you embrace it, it's quite good. It has the capacity to really, really benefit humanity if used in the right way. But I guess my fear is that the world is going to lose touch with itself. It already does, especially with social media. Like, no one is confident in who they are, or at least not many people are confident in who they are, or where they want to be. That people have imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and all that sort of thing. And I think it's just, you need to self-isolate, not completely, and not go off grid, but you need to have time to yourself, and you need to have time to just be. Not with music on, not with, just be present and think, what do I want? What do I love? What do I want to give to the world? And, take the time to say to yourself, it doesn't need to be right now. I don't need to know what I want to do right now. For me, it's music and basketball is a big thing for me. Like, music-wise, basketball I have the most self-doubt, because I know that I'm good, and I know that I will coach at a high level and I can play at a high level. But I self-doubt so much because of the current position that I'm in, because I've just moved countries and I'm just getting into the scene. My name's not known. I'm self-doubting myself a little bit. And that's natural. It's natural. It's a very human thing to do. And it's just spending your time with myself and yourself to sit down and go, objectively, you are good enough. Regardless of what you think in the moment, or regardless of whether you're tired or hungry or whatever's affecting your negative voices to yourself, if you sit down in a present manner and you objectively look at who you are and what you offer as a human, 9 times out of 10, you'll find that you're doing just fine. And if you're not, it'll be very obvious to you what you need to do. Music-wise, I just need to practice. I just need to do more. I don't need to, I want to, because I love it, and that's what I want to pursue. And I listened to this video the other day, and this man was talking about, make music like you already have millions of dollars, like you're already famous, because then the pressure is off you. I feel like I have to make music that's going to sell, that's going to be listened to. But I think the vulnerability of music is what brings it, is what people love, and that's what gets listened to. And that vulnerability is lost when you try and make something for somebody else. Make it for you. Make something that you enjoy, that you find interesting. You need to be the coolest person that you know. You need to be the person that you think is interesting. What do you think is interesting? And inherently, that's what makes you interesting. Like, it seems so simple, but it's not. It's so complex, and humans, I find, constantly bounce back. Well, my view of humans constantly bounces back and forth between we're simple creatures and we're very complex creatures. And I think it's just a matter of sitting down with yourself and knowing who you are and who you want to be. And that is the key to everything. In my opinion, I'm 20 years old. What do I know? But I'm learning every day. But anyway, that's my short little rant. Have a good day.